Payment processors force Japanese retailer to remove adult games indefinitely. And if you go down in the article and you read the first line, it also, elaborates that it's not just games, it's also manga as well. So this is affecting just basically the entertainment industry. And so this next image I'm going to show you, it really speaks for itself, and it really just goes to show how morally bankrupt these payment processors are, aka VISA and Mastercard, to allow what I'm about to show happen while going out of the way to basically force Japan to self-censor itself. So, take a look at this. I want to probably have to censor maybe a word or two on here, but it kind of speaks for itself. It's very obvious. You can piece it together. They allowed this to happen. And I read this article a while back, I talked about it, and there was multiple times to where basically they were warned about this, and they basically did next to nothing about it. However, when it comes to anime, manga, games, oh, that's too far. That's too far for this man right here, the head of VISA Japan, that, went on record to basically say himself that he will bully retailers into censorship all in the name of brand protection. Yeah, that same guy, this individual, that is so about brand protection and wanting to make sure that anything Japanese or anything adult content from Japan is censored. This is the same individual and the same companies that will straight up allow stuff like that to happen. For instance, to allow something like this to happen and do next to nothing about it when they are forewarned years in advance. I'll link to this article if you want to see it for yourself. But basically, all I'm going to say is that I am absolutely disgusted right now. When I saw this, I was just like, they keep doing it. They keep doing it. And there has been some pushback in this article that Niche Gamer, talks about this information. They do outline that there has been some pushback. For instance, in the ending part of this article, he talks about Taro and Ken, which I have mentioned in my previous videos that's talked about, these payment processors and MasterCard and Visa forcing Japan to censor itself. I talked about these two that are fighting back, trying to fight for, the anime and manga industry, the gaming industry, and they've made some minor success, but overall, it's a very gradual and small battle, or a small victory, so to speak, but a massive battlefield, and they need a lot of support to be able to overcome something like this. But let's get back into the main point. What sparked this? Well, obviously, these payment processors, for instance, Visa and MasterCard and others involved, just don't like adult content. Well, fictional content, apparently, but when it comes to real content like, OnlyFans and stuff, that's completely a-okay, especially when people are potentially getting harmed. That's fine to them. They will allow that to slide and make as much money as they can off of it, but then they'll turn around and do this. And it's just like, everything about this situation, I've said it before, and I don't want to say necessarily it is, but it feels racist. It does. It feels just like it is a grab for control against the Japanese industry for anime, manga, and games, but also it just feels like blatantly racist towards the Japanese culture. That's literally what it feels like, especially when you have these big payment processors being able to just have so much weight when they're not even a political government. They are just companies that are able to do something like this. And I've talked about it in length in previous videos about this subject in multiple videos and how much power they have and the control they have and the alternatives like JCB and stuff that's in Japan. But there is a lot of issues, and I have talked with a lot of people about this, people that actually have went to stores in Japan, and how difficult it is to even be able to buy some products nowadays because of stuff like this. And it really is infuriating that this just keeps happening and nobody is talking about it. That's what really is making me upset, is that this is a massive story. This is a massive situation that is getting worse and worse. And I want to fundamentally make this clear. If you don't like adult content, you don't like, for instance, like whatever content is censored within games, manga, and anime, you're free to have that feeling, but don't come crying about your stuff being censored a few years later because you didn't step in and do something. For instance, when a door opens, you let the door open for censorship. That is a cascading effect of censorship. And so when no one is there to stand beside you because everything else is censored, don't be coming crying to the people already censored, because they're not going to be there for you, because they're already long gone. What I'm trying to say is anyone that is a-okay with this censorship that's rampant, constantly happening now in Japan, I'm just going to say, you do not 100% deserve entertainment. I'm just going to be completely blunt. Just gonna be completely honest, that might be a hot take, might make people upset, but I'm gonna keep it 100% real. Regardless, getting back a little bit on topic here, I hate this. I wish more people would talk about this. It is just a reoccurring problem that is getting worse and worse. And just like I said, nobody's talking about it. I think the last time I saw anyone really talk about it was actually from Asmongold. Asmongold made a video on my video about, it was last year. Yeah, it was last year. I believe it was like in September or August of last year. But I wish more people would talk about this and give attention to it, because this is important. This is literally Japanese culture under attack. That the entertainment industry is under attack. But I'll leave it at that. I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer. I know that this isn't necessarily good news, but this needed to be talked about. This is important to stay up to date with, because obviously as this keeps going on, and if people are not aware of it, it's going to get worse, and people are going to be one day like, wait, why is it so hard to get something or find something? It's because of stuff like this. So yeah, I'm just making sure everybody is aware of this, making sure everybody knows what's going on. I've talked about this already so extensively in the past, so I'm not going to retread old ground, but yeah, this is sad, man. It's just legitimately sad to see. It's obviously not just anime and manga now, it's also gaming that's clearly getting affected, which is just crazy. So, be safe, stay healthy, subscribe if you like my content, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this video as well, but Chibi out.